Namaste from Anadi Foundation. We are looking at the Yogasutra of Patanjali. This is Sutra 7. Pratyakshanumanagamav pramanani. Pratyakshanumanagamav pramanani. Pratyakshanumanagamav pramanani. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Agama, these constitute the Pramana. In the Sutra 5 and 6, Patanjali Maharishi had established that the vrittis are fivefold and Pramana, Viparyaya, Vikalpa, Nidra and Smriti constitute the vrittis. In Sutra 7, Maharishi Patanjali highlights or details as to what Pramana is. He says that there are three valid sources of knowledge. What are they? Pratyaksha, which is direct perception. Anumana, which is inference. And Agama, which is basically the words of experts in the field, the rishis, or shrutis, which are basically revealed. Whenever we seek knowledge, there are multiple ways to acquire it. What do we normally do? In modern times, we just look at the internet, we just Google it up. Or we might, just as we say in Kaun Banega Karodpati, we phone a friend whom we think might know the answer. Or we try to conduct some experiments and know it by ourselves. Right? So similarly, what Patanjali Maharishi says is that there are three valid sources of knowledge. One is either you could have a direct experience. We cognize in this world through our senses. That is our eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. We gather information from that. And many of the things around us, we are able to directly get a perception of it. Directly perceive it through our senses. We can feel it directly, we can taste it directly and make sense of the reality around us. That is Pratyaksha. Or if, for example, you are meditating upon the Vedantic truths or Vedantic truth, or you are meditating upon the Yogasutra, and then through the meditative process, you get a direct experience of the truth of what is mentioned there, then it is Pratyaksha. With your own eyes or with your own senses, you are able to decode and make sense of the reality. That is Pratyaksha. Very difficult to get. It requires a lot of tapasya and sadhana and good amount of effort because it's a personal experimentative process to see the truth for yourself. It's like going to a laboratory, mixing the chemicals and getting the results by yourself. Suppose you wanted to know what E is equal to mc square means. Probably you conduct an experiment so that you know the truth for yourself. That is Pratyaksha. The other option I mentioned to you is phone a friend option, or basically relying on the words of whom you look up to or who you look up to as expert in the field. In the ancient times, rishis were the embodiment of that knowledge, and the path laid on by the rishis was followed by the larger social system. And hence, the words of the rishi, called the Shabda Pramana or Agama, was looked up to. Some of which was experimented so that you get a direct knowledge of it. But not all needs to be experimented. If somebody says fire is hot, not everybody needs to poke your finger into the fire and test it for yourself. So such things which are yet to be tested by yourself, or just before you test it for yourself, we can rely upon the words of the rishis who have personally experimented with things. It is called Rishi Vakya or Shabda Pramana or Agama. And some of this could also be revealed to you through the higher intelligence. That is Agama. And the other one is Anumana, which is basically inference. For example, this is a very common example. Whenever you see smoke, you infer that there is fire over there. So by looking at the effect, you infer the cause. That is called inference. Or you use logical reasoning or deduction to arrive at the truth. Okay, if this is like this, then it means that there should be something underlying. If there is a beautiful creation, then there should be an underlying intelligence which created this. That is what is called Anumana. You use logical reasoning and deduction to arrive at the truth. That is inference, Anumana. So Pramana is basically Pratyaksha, Anumana and Agama. Pratyakshanumanagamav pramanani.